It's okay to have feelings. I think the biggest lie that we tell ourselves is that we're not allowed to be emotional because we believe in God. I think that's a huge thing that Christians struggle with, is that because we believe in God, we can't have emotions. But that's just not true. And I can tell you why. In John 11, it talks about the death of Lazarus. Lazarus is one of Jesus's closest friends, and he dies. And so Jesus goes to visit his sisters. And when he does, he sees his sisters mourning. He sees the Jews that came with him crying and mourning. And in verse 33, it says, he was deeply moved in his spirit and troubled. I'm sorry, but that just shows me that Jesus is relatable. But it goes further than that. In verse 35, it says, Jesus wept. Praise. That is my favorite verse of all time. And no, it's not just because it's easy to memorize. Cool it, calm down. It is my favorite verse because that shows me that Jesus is relatable and understands the pain that I have and will go through. He's relatable. Are you kidding me? That's incredible. To have God know exactly what I'm going through, for him to mourn with me, for him to be sad with me, for him to just want to hold me because something broke his heart that he saw me go through. I want to promise you today, and I do promise you today, that Jesus sees you in your pain. And I'm not just referring to this pandemic that we're all going through. Yes, we're all going through the same thing essentially in that aspect, but one, it looks different for all of us. And two, we're going through stuff on top of the pandemic, regardless of it, besides it. We're going through different stuff constantly. But God sees us, and he relates, and he really truly understands our pain. It's okay to have emotions. Just because we believe in God and we have faith in him and that everything's going to work out together for his good, it doesn't mean that we're not allowed to be sad for a little bit. Just because we're sad doesn't mean that we're not a Christian. Jesus created those emotions for us to really walk through and understand. It's just a matter of actually knowing how to walk through that. So, one, how do we walk through pain regardless of being a Christian, right? One, admit what you're going through. That is the biggest thing that we push aside because of the lie that we believe that emotions can't be real. So we decide, okay, well, I'm not allowed to deal with it, so I won't deal with it. No, opposite, run the other way. Admit that there is something that you're going through and that's difficult for you. Preaching to the choir right now, I'm not gonna lie. Anyway, admit it, then bring it to Jesus. Don't go gossiping, don't go crying to your best friend, don't go moping around for 4 days. No, admit that there's something going on. Talk about it with Jesus, as simple as, God, this sucks. It's okay to say that. Sometimes we need to, as long as we're talking to God about it and not just moping around with ourselves, because that's when the enemy sneaks in and that's when things get worse. But when we admit it and we take it to Jesus, then we truly are able to see the situation from his view, which is way up here, not way right here, everything's falling apart. No, God's up here okay, I know it feels that way, and that's okay, but let me help you. All he does is want to help us through it. That's why he makes himself so relatable to us, because he understands the pain that we're going through. So, admit it, talk to Jesus about it, you'll be set. It's okay to have feelings.